In the movie 300, we are introduced to the god king Xerxes, for some reason portrayed in the film as a kind of weird, floaty, bald giant. Anyway, about 80 years from the events of the film, his great-grandson Artaxerxes II came to the throne of the Persian Empire and held it by defeating his younger brother Cyrus in battle.
Yay!
Mithridates, the man who had actually killed Cyrus, was rewarded by the king with some nice clothes. And told not to tell anyone the truth, for Artaxerxes himself wanted to take all the credit. Unfortunately, Mithridates got drunk at a party and told everyone that he was the hero that had killed Cyrus. Enraged, Artaxerxes had him executed by SCAPHISM. They covered Mithridates with 2 boats, force-fed him. If he refused, they pricked him in the eyes with needles, and then covered his face with milk and honey. Like this, he was left in the hot sun, where he was slowly eaten alive by the insects and flies that were attracted to the honey on his face and excrement inside the boat. Writing much later, the Roman historian Plutarch reckoned he lasted about 17 days before he died. Come to Rome. Visit the Forum and maybe get a glimpse of the Emperor himself. Not too close though, he'll probably have your whole family put to death. And if romance is on the cards, why not visit the Colosseum, see a recreation of your favourite battles, and for the lady, get front row seats to see those pesky Christians get ripped apart by rabid dogs. A speciality of the Romans, crucifixion took many forms, usually depending on the amount of suffering required of the victim by the sentencing authorities, or otherwise by the level of sadism of the executioner himself. People were nailed via the wrists to single upright poles, to T-shapes or simple crosses. If you were lucky, the nails may have struck a large artery, in which case you would quickly bleed to death. Otherwise, the weight of the torso and legs pulling down on the shoulders and arms would make breathing increasingly difficult. To prolong the suffering, you might have your ankles nailed to a small ledge, allowing you to temporarily take the weight off your ribcage until, of course, you would slip back down. When overcome by pain or exhaustion, you would eventually suffocate. In this way, the surviving rebels of Spartacus's slave revolt were punished. 6,000 crucified along the Appian Way as a warning to others not to resist the power of Rome. Oiling a spike and inserting it into the anus or vagina of your victim is as old as the earliest human civilizations. Fans of extreme cruelty will welcome the arrival of the Assyrians to this ill-judged list. Those who ruled large parts of the Near East for about the middle of the 14th century BC to the 7th century BC, and who incidentally loved nothing more than boasting of their astonishing brutality in tablets and in carvings on the walls of their palaces, would gouge out the prisoners' eyes and cut out the tongue and ears before hoisting them up on a spike to die. Closer to home, of course, we have Vlad the Impaler, who ruled the small principality of Wallachia, now part of modern Romania, in the middle of the 15th century AD. His father, Vlad Dracul, meaning either the devil or the dragon, I prefer the devil, was assassinated when young Vlad was only 17. Dracula means son of the devil. Spending the majority of his reign managing the territorial ambitions of his much more powerful neighbours, Vlad the Impaler was sadistic in his obsession for the murder of his own people. The Romanian nobility, who he saw as traitors to his father, ethnic Germans he didn't like, the old or disabled and adulterous. When executing an entire family, he would impale the children above their parents. Luckily, he was eventually killed in battle in his late 40s.
Jesus Christ!
Counterfeit coins in medieval Europe, and you will get boiled to death. Or if you try and poison a bishop in King Henry VIII's England. Such was the fate of Richard Roos in 1531. He was the cook in the Bishop of Rochester's kitchen when he poured a mysterious white powder into porridge meant for the entire household. 2 died, 17 became violently ill. The bishop himself escaped unharmed. King Henry, evidently not less pleased, spoke before the House of Lords for over an hour on the subject, and condemned Roos without trial to be boiled alive. Perhaps as a symbolic gesture, Roos was a cook after all. They certainly made an example of him, lowering him in and out of the boiling water several times. It took him 2 hours to die.